Aloha, I'm Ross Stevenson with the Hawaiian Railway Society. I wanted to talk the second half of a two-part program on the Aala and Iwilei sections of Honolulu and the impacts that the Oahu Railway and Land Company had. I might mention that the Oahu Railway and Land Company and the Honolulu Rapid Transit Company basically integrated their operations. The HRT was within the city and the OR&L was in the country, but they met in Iwilei. And you still see the station there. When I was a kid, we would actually catch a bus to the Leeward Bus Company over there to go out to Aiea when the railroad was gone. But HRT continued to operate in the city. So it's a period building with a lot of history and a wonderful thing for a lot of people my age who grew up with those types of things. But the Oahu Railway and Land Company had a station in Kaka'ako. You can see it. I'm going to go ahead and show you a series of pictures. This is the Aala Park in just on the other side of Nu'uanu Stream. What's important about this is you could see the second railway station, which was built about 1925, in the location of the original one. On the left is King Street. You can see the type of cars in the photograph here and trucks that they had. And the present park that we have in Aala is is twice the size, actually, of the original park. The original park was only on the Diamond Head side. This particular photograph shows a bunch of men working on a sewer line along the edge of the park. But you see the railway station behind on the left. You see the sign that says Park Theater. There were about 5 theaters in this area. A lot of them were Japanese. And you also see the Dewdrop Inn. Some of these firms would move to other sections of the city in the 1950s when we had urban renewal. But at this time, you can see the period cars, and it's nostalgic for me. What can I say? This is another photograph, the next one. This is also the same general area, but this is in the opposite direction. This is in the town or Diamond Head direction. This is a rebuilding of a bridge which exists today over Nu'uanu Stream at King Street. And they were building a temporary footbridge. Now, if you look at the buildings behind here, these buildings still exist. That's King Street that's between the buildings that you see. And this is looking in the Diamond Head direction. And you can see how crowded what we call today Chinatown was, but it was actually this one block area was about half Chinatown and half Japantown. And you could get an idea of the kind of construction that occurred after the third fire that we had in Chinatown. You see all these concrete buildings and stone buildings because of the fact that the fires had been destroyed the most developed section of the territory or kingdom during those periods. We have another picture here. This is Aala as my grandparents' era would know it. This is looking at the divide between King Street to the right and Beretania Street to the left. And that building over there on the far end was the building that most people knew the neighborhood from. It was interesting because it had 3 different types of architecture on it. It was an Aala pawn shop. You're looking in the Diamond Head direction. The street on the right is King Street. The street on the left of that building at the Palama Junction is Beretania. You can see the two funnels for the Hiko power station down there in the distance. The trees over there on the left of the streetcar are from the Ewe end of Aala Park. And the building on the right still exists. You can go down at this intersection. It's just, nowadays you have the intersection with the Liliha and Dillingham just behind this photograph or photographer. But that building on the right is still there. You can see the types of cars that had in those particular period. The next photograph I want to show you of this section of town, these two buildings still exist. Now, what you have here on the left nowadays is Nimitz Highway has been put through, and you have what was often called in my youth Dead Man's Curve, because it's a very sharp curve when you're going out of town to the left, further Mackay. But these two buildings still exist. This was the Love's Bakery at one time. The original complex was in the back, and the one in the front is the addition. This is the site of the original Oahu prison that was torn down about 1915, I believe. And this was at that time the Love's Bakery. So you could see all their trucks over here, Love's Bakery. So nowadays, if you're coming toward this building, it's still there. You'd be making a left to go down, follow the rest of Nimitz Highway, and there's a big divider here on the left. The stairways are still there on the building, as are the lights, and to the right is Iwilei Road. Another photograph I'd like to show you. This is also in Iwilei. This particular photograph is pineapples, and it's a period photograph. What happened again was originally you had a lot of the work, for example, pineapples, and all were done in the fields or in small complexes up in the mountains above Pearl City. And eventually they consolidated everything down to Iwilei. You can see the two boxcars full of pineapples on the left, and on the right you see all the baskets of pineapples. If you're looking Mauka, you'll see a flat area with cut grass. That's the baseball field that was used for many years for recreation of the employees. The area to the left is kind of rough. It has not been completely filled in yet. These are all kind of flats that were eventually developed, but the trees beyond toward the mountains show that that's where the more permanent land was, and that's where King Street is. You can see on the left the Kaumukapili Church. I'm having a bad day here. Kaumukapili Church, sorry. And its spire is over there. On the above it is Kamehameha Schools and Alewa Heights. And then to the right, of course, is one of the smokestacks that would fire the plant for the pineapple juicing factory. And the next photograph, I remember these buildings. This is behind the Alarengo, which was the behind the King Street section. It's a little bit more Mackay on the Ewa side of the canal. And this particular photograph, you can see Aala Market. They had several produce markets in Honolulu's history. The first of them was over roughly where Nu'uanu Avenue is, and you have another one that is still existent on the Mackay side, actually two on King Street. And then this is the canal between the Nu'uanu Canal between downtown and Iwilei. And it says Aala Market, and you can get an idea of the kind of features the things that they sold, and on the very right of this photograph is the back of the Aala Ringo. The next photograph I want to show you is the second train station in Iwilei. This was built about 1925-26. You're looking in the other direction, and it has King Street in front of it. If you look closely, you can see the rails in the road for the Honolulu Rapid Transit. And what's really interesting about this sign, or this photograph, it says war bonds. This is taken during World War II. Invest in freedom, war bonds, Oahu Railway. This is looking in the other direction. Another photograph here to show you is the back of the railway line. If you look at the photograph, you'll see the tower that you saw in the preceding photograph on the front of the railway station, and this is where people would board in the back. On the left is the records building from the railway period, and you can see that you have number 85, a railroad. This is in 1945, so they have a lot of passenger cars again for people working at Pearl Harbor. It's a steam locomotive. And on the right, you see the, again, Aala Ringo, the complex that was the first shopping center that we mentioned in Hawaii. It was built by Dillingham. The next photograph I want to show you is the yard. This is just a portion of the yard. The yard was very, very big, and it was had to be basically a self-sustaining yard, because any kind of railway equipment, maybe some of the neighbor islands might have some, but most of the railway equipment came from the mainland, so you would see the OR&L building a lot of its own equipment. This is in Iwilei. You can see punch bowl in the back, and you can see a couple of steam engines blowing smoke on the left center, and then you see the type of cars that were there on the right. You have, for example, an oiler, the round vehicle over there. You have box cars in the center. You have hoppers on the right. You have flat cars in the center and on the far right. So they would go ahead and have to maintain their own equipment here. And this is equipment that was really abused during World War II, because they didn't have enough of anything out here, and this was so far from where it was manufactured. The railway people really had to be self-sufficient in repairing equipment. It was quite a feat on their part. But you can see, looking at this photograph, how big the rail yard was. It was quite an innovation for its time. The next photograph is to give you a better idea even of how big the railway facility was, and how the industrial type of things that occurred around it that kept, well, the local economy and even the war effort going in the islands. This is a huge loop. It starts on the left, goes around up to the Mauka section toward Punch Bowl, then turns to the right, and then comes back. You can see, going from the upper section, you can see the parts of the city. The 1933 era Dillingham Boulevard goes from the middle left up to the center where it reaches King Street. You can see Nuku'ana Stream in the right top. You can see Punch Bowl on the right top. And the road going to the left up from the center, that's Laliha Boulevard. So, giving you an even better idea of what's going on here, you have, for example, a very white area in the center left. they're filling in and raising that land there. The area that notched into it is the baseball field for the employees. And in the center, you have the offices of the what became, let's see now. Well, you have various things. You have the pineapple cannery on the right with a low roof. You have the Lures and Cook in the center. You can see they're needing to store large fuel. You have a lot of fuel storage facilities. And that loop, again, is the Railway Society. The Honolulu Railway. And here's a map of the same thing in the next photograph. You can see how pink are buildings. And you can see how the harbor is tied in intimately with the railway. You have various things like the fertilizer company has a section. The American Can Company has a section. The California Packing Corporation has a section. Iwilei Road and King Street. This area has changed, of course. Now the right-of-way, that half circle on the bottom, is now Nimitz Highway because the railway is no longer in existence. The next photograph, this shows the trains. Now, what was important about the trains in the Iwilei area is they were double-tracked. There was so much business at one time in the area between Pearl City and the Iwilei facility that they had parallel tracks. That was eventually pulled up very late, including some portions of it in the 1960s. But you can then see again 2 sets of tracks in this photograph. You see the water supply over there in the back and the kind of engines that the OR&L ran. The next photograph, I want you to get an idea here. This is a symbol I can remember as a kid. The pineapple water tower over at the cannery. A lot of people my age went and worked in the summers in the cannery. And these buildings are still there, but the tank is gone, and this is gone. But this was a symbol of what you would see when you were coming in to Hawaii from the old Honolulu airport on Lagoon Drive. You would come along Nimitz Highway because there was no Lunalilo Freeway except in Makiki in those days. So you would drive by, and this is one of the first things you would see. It's a very good marketing tactic for the pineapple plantation, which moved off the fields in the mid-20th century and down into a packing plant where this particular water tower is, or was. And the last photograph I want to show you here, this is the OR&L station. This is about 1960. The railroad has been closed except for some small sections on the docks. The building is still on the corner of Iwilei Road and King Street. It's still a landmark. It's now used for office purposes. But again, this was what made Hawaii agriculture possible to a large degree in the early part of the 20th century. And so it needs to be remembered. And so we want to go ahead and suggest that you could go out to the Oahu Railway and Land Company descendant, which is the Hawaiian Railway Society, out in Ewa, and take a look at the things they have. It's a wonderful experience. They have model trains, 2 sets of model trains. They have the ride, which takes you out to Ko'olina and then out to to Kahe power plant. And they have a number of other exhibits to enjoy. They also have one other thing that you might consider. Besides, you can walk around the actual equipment and see it, but you could also contribute, if you want, to helping restore the equipment. We have people who do all kinds of things, anywhere from woodworking to metalworking to assembling engines to painting, you name it. And the Hawaiian Railway Society would be most appreciative if you would come out and take a look around and contribute a little bit. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this thing about our little talks about the railway facility in Iwilei, and sometime go back in there and take a look around. So thank you very much. This is Ross Stevenson saying thank you for your time, and you have a great day. Take care now. Bye-bye.